I'm Carla. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. So today I thought I'd do a collective pandemic plant haul. I've picked up a few things. I was very careful though. I wore my mask. I ordered online if I couldn't actually go into the store, and I did curbside pickup. But if I was able to go into the store, obviously I kept my 6 feet of social distance, and I was very careful to go when there were very few people there. And as I said, I wore my mask. So let me tell you about the places that I visited. I visited Haynes Nursery in Cinnaminson, New Jersey. I visited Flags Landscape and Garden Center in Morristown, New Jersey. And then, this always escapes me, but there's one that I will put in the description box. That's in Cape May, New Jersey. And I think it's something like Garden Green Center or Green Garden Center or something like that. Anyway, really cute nursery. I usually go to Flags and the Garden Green, whatever it's called, for landscape plants. Not usually for house plants, but I was able to find a couple of house plants at both places. So let's get started. First, I want to tell you that one of my favorite plants, sorry, this is my Hoya just like winding around me. I'm going to put her off to the side for a minute. Stay there. Beautiful. Anyway, I love peperomia, and so I've been collecting peperomia for a while now. I first fell in love with Summer Rain Oaks collection and Nick Legge's collection, and so I decided to venture into the world of peperomia. I started out with a Peperomia rubella, a Peperomia variegata scandens. I also had, and this hurt my heart that I killed her, overwatering her, but I had a beautiful ruby cascade, and I've never seen any others anywhere except that one time that I got it from, I think it was either Lowe's or Home Depot, but she's a sensitive little girl, and I just didn't do right by her, I guess. So anyway, and then I got a Peperomia rubella. I still have the rubella. I still have the scandens. I traded for a Peperomia hope, or I should say I swapped for a Peperomia hope. I couldn't get a read on her, and she's gone. And then I'm trying to think. And then I found Peperomia Tryna. Well, she did really great. I had her in a northeast facing bathroom window. She was getting a lot of humidity, gentle light, and I decided to bring her down to the east facing window in my kitchen and repot her. Well, she didn't like the larger pot, and she didn't like being moved. I really don't think the light difference was an issue. I really think it was, a larger pot, more soil, more water retention, and even though she's a very thin-leaved peperomia, she does like to be moist. Not overly moist, but moist. But I guess she just did not like that I moved her, and she rebelled, and, well, she died. So I decided that I would try Peperomia again, like a range of them. So I started out at Flags in Morristown, and there I found, let me get her for you. I found this Peperomia hope. I'm going to try to get her close so you can see her. Hopefully you can. But that's my little hope there. And she's given me some extra growth up here. These two tiers are extra growth, and I keep her, oh, it's just this bug. I keep thinking it's a bug. Anyway, I keep her in the southeastern part of this covered porch, so she gets a lot of light, and I don't water her very often, maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, even in the dead of summer, because she's like very succulent, as you can see. And then from the same nursery, I picked up this Peperomia incana, or felted peperomia, and she is just fantastic. She is leathery, but like furry leathery, and she is, I don't know, she's just a gorgeous big girl, and she's giving me a lot of new growth, which you can't ask for more, right? And I even have her in a really well draining mix that I mixed myself. It's a lot of cactus mix with a couple of handfuls of the Espoma organic potting mix. I've got some orchid bark in here, some worm castings, and a little bit of pumice. And guess what? She's in a, let me see if I can do this without losing everything. She's in a drainage hole-less pot. No drainage hole there. But I usually err on the side of low water. Like, if I kill a plant, it's not usually from overwatering, it's usually from underwatering. So I think she and I are a good match. Then I went to another nursery, Haynes. Was it Haynes? No, sorry. Then I went to City Planter in the Northern Liberties section of Philadelphia, and I picked up 2 more Peperomia Tryna to replace the ones that I killed. And so I got 2 2-inch pots, put them together, and I have this beauty here, if you can see her. And she looks a little wilted, but you know what? I watered her. She's in a quick draining mix, and I think she's okay. She's gonna be all right. She hasn't dropped any leaves or anything, so. And yeah, so she's doing well. I have her in an east-facing window, and this is a pretty fast draining mix. And I also, oops, sorry, I lied. 1 leaf gone. All right. You know, I made sure that I had enough root system to support putting her in this big a pot. But it's 2 together, and I figure she'll be okay. Besides which, we're in the dead of summer, and she's drying out quickly anyway. And then from the same nursery, City Planter in Philly, I picked up this Ruby Glow Peperomia Gravina. Is it wait, it's right, Gravina. So. Okay, so there she is. I think she's gorgeous. She's very succulent. She's giving me new growth. She is, and this is 2 2-inch pots together. She's giving me, as I said, new growth. She's in a fast draining mix, 2 in a pot. I'm thinking the same thing. I hardly ever water her, so I think she'll survive. And if she doesn't, I think these leaves are much easier to propagate than maybe some of the other Peperomia that I have. And so I'm good with her, I think, for the moment. So, yeah, so those are my 4 Peperomia that I picked up. From the nursery in Morristown, Flax Landscape and Garden Center, I've picked up a couple other plants. I picked up this Lediboria passiflora, which is called the giant squill. I hope you can see her. I hope I'm not too low, too high, and I can't see what you can see. And I noticed that, you know, she's a succulent. Her leaves are pretty leathery, and they're very soft. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a bulb, like a red onion, kind of looking, shallot, actually. And when I picked her up, all she had was this large part here. And then she gave me this one, and this one during the summer. And you know, I could just stuck her in this little glazed ceramic pot. I figured she doesn't like a lot of water. She likes to be moderately dry before you water her again. And I put her in a succulent mix, or cacti mix actually, with just a touch of organic potting soil. And she's been pumping out these leaves and extra bulbs. And what I notice about her, what I love about her, is her curliness. She's just like wild, beautiful. She has the most tone-on-tone, subtle leopard spots. So I also have a silver squirrel, and the spots are much more pronounced on that one. And that squirrel has more of a little bit of a burgundy on the underside of the leaf. But this has, I don't know if you can see it, but I love the fact that it has just those gorgeous, gorgeous little, almost inconspicuous spots. And then from that same nursery, I picked up this heart fern. So this is my second heart fern. My first one that I got from the same nursery. I guess I really didn't get what ferns need. Like, you know, like the ferns that I have growing in my landscape are in pretty much shade. But shade outside, as you know, is different than low light inside. So, and they're in a pretty moist area, or moist soil, right? So it didn't translate to me. These guys like higher light, but they also like to be watered almost every day, especially in summer. In the winter, I pull back, and I might pull back a little bit too much. I probably have to up my water game during the winter when it comes to my ferns. But since I have this one in a higher light situation than I usually do, and I'm watering her every day I water her. And I also kept her in her nursery pot just to make sure that she's still getting, you know, a good amount of moisture. She has been pumping out new leaves for me. And I just noticed that she's got roots coming out of the bottom, so she's going to need a repotting soon. But yep, this is my heartleaf fern. From the same nursery, I picked up this gorgeous eyelash begonia, and she is called the Peter Piper begonia. So this is what she looks like. She's just gorgeous. Look at her. And she's giving me new growth all the time. She's just beautiful. She is definitely one of my favorite plants. I love the colors. I love the ruffliness. I love how she dances when you move her, or when the wind blows. I keep her on the eastern side of the porch, so she's getting gentle morning light to mid-morning, and I keep her moderately moist. So she's still well, that's not true. She's not still in her nursery pot, but she is in an orchid pot, and that allows it allows her to keep moisture, it allows her to retain moisture. But I've also noticed that she's outgrowing this pot. I don't know if you can see it, but she's got roots coming out the bottom, which means she's going to need to be bumped up pretty soon. And I've got the perfect pot for her. And then from that same nursery, I picked up an Asian violet. Asian violets are called actually Primulina, and this is Piccolo, Primulina piccolo. So let me get closer for you so you can see her. I cannot wait. She's giving me a ton of new leaves, but I cannot wait to see her bloom. I don't know if you know this, but these are related to the African violet. And she's just gorgeous. So her needs are, I keep her in the eastern side, on the eastern side of the porch. So she's getting nice morning light. And I water her pretty, I want to say frequently, maybe every 2 to 3 days. She's also in a pot with no drainage hole, as you can see, no drainage hole. But again, I'm a light waterer. I err on the side of not watering, so I think she's going to be okay. And then the last plant that I have from that nursery is this Pilia silver cloud. And she is my second silver cloud. The first one did not make it through the winter. This one isn't growing too much for me. I had her in her nursery pot for like 3 months. And then I said, well, I think you can, go into terracotta, because actually I was terrified that I was going to overwater her in a plastic nursery pot. So I put her in clay, hoping that that would kind of allow me to be generous with water and have it evaporate or transpire much more quickly. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping she survives. She might just be a finicky Pilia. I don't know, but we'll see. So I also visited another nursery in Cinnaminson, New Jersey, named Haynes. It's called Haynes. It's right on Route 130, north. And, or is it south? I think it's north. North, south, I don't know. Anyway, I picked up a couple of succulents. The first one I want to talk about is this crassula breviafolia. And she's really unique. And I don't know if you can actually see from there how the unique shape of her leaves. They're like little, I don't even know, little like oblong pillows. They're like 3-dimensional. They are just, well, all leaves are, but you can really see it with this one. It's amazing. She's in a pot with no drainage, but again, I hardly ever water plants, so I think she'll be okay. She likes high light, and she likes to dry completely out between waterings. She's giving me some new leaves. I think she's happy. And then from that same nursery, I picked up 2 other. Excuse me, Mr. B. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay. So this first one is a crassula kamutata, and it's just a bunch of little leaves in a little fairy bush. Like, I think this would be great for a fairy garden. So cute. And they actually have the same kind of puffy, pillowy look that the breviafolia has. So cute. And then behind her, my pickle plant, or my Stapelii formis. Senecio Stapelii formis. So by accident, I accidentally chopped off the tip of this one, and it's giving me a brand new one somewhere. I don't know where I put the tip, but I put it somewhere, and it's growing, I'm sure, somewhere. Anyway, those are my 2 others. I also want to tell you that these 2 they like part sun, which is really interesting. So they like part sun, and they do not require a lot of water. And so again, I have another pot that does not have a drainage hole. I hardly water, and I think they're doing okay. We'll see what happens again in the winter. And then I have a new philodendron, either philodendron little Phil or philodendron wendendy. So I found this one at the nursery in Cape May. It's either Garden Green or Green Garden, I can't remember. Green Center or something like that. Anyway, They first told me she was a basket plant or a Calesia fragrans. And I already have one of those, so I said, that's impossible. I actually went home. I left her there and went home because I had no idea what she was. And I wanted to make sure before I bought her that I actually wanted her. So I took a picture of her at the nursery and I put it on my Instagram account. And I got a couple of people telling me, hey, that's a little Phil or that's a wendendy. So it's one of the two. I actually think it's a little Phil. I love her. She is a bushy little thing and she grows so quickly. She's put out a lot of new growth since I got her. I keep her in terracotta because I know that philodendron like to be dry in between waterings. So I figure in the dead of summer when I'm watering a little more, she won't hold on to moisture as much. So we'll see what happens in the winter. That is the real test. And then my final, the final one on this table, almost left one. The final one on the Triptogandra multiflora bridal veil. And I'll get closer so you can see her. She's a very delicate little thing. She always has blossoms, these little puffy white blossoms. And she has very delicate leaves. I think she is related to the Triptogandra. I think, not sure. So I really like her. She likes to dry out in between waterings. She loves sun. And this is the second time I've repotted her. And as you can see, she's got roots coming out the bottom already. So I just got another pot. I'll put her in it. And hopefully she'll stay in it a little longer than the last two. So I have saved the best for last. Not because of what plant it is, but because of who gave me this plant. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. That bridal veil was gifted to me by a friend, Caitlin, who she's become a plant mama and has just run with it. She's always buying plants. We're always gifting each other a plant or trading or swapping, whatever, but that was from her. This next plant, which is my new baby, my husband gave to me for our 16th wedding anniversary. Big calyx. She's a Hoya pubic calyx. I have no idea what color her flowers are, and I have no idea what kind of pubic calyx she is, but here she is. I'm going to try and get the whole thing in the frame. Okay, so there you have her. And she has put out a ton of new leaves. She is vining, going crazy everywhere. I'm new to Hoya, so I don't even know if she has a peduncle or not. I think she does. I filmed, in fact, my very first YouTube video was an unboxing or unbagging of this Hoya. So I will link it above on either side so that you can watch that. But there she is. I want to thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you stopping by and chatting with me here on my porch. I'm going to link a couple of other videos. I hope you get a chance to watch them and that you enjoy them. When you get a chance, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you will know when I upload another video. Also, if you're so inclined, leave me a comment. Tell me what your plant haul has been during this pandemic, or what you've been doing to keep that hunger for new plants at bay if you're not able to get out, or just leave a comment telling me anything you'd like me to know. Again, I thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.